Paper got them talking nice to me. Down the bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper got them talking nice.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Club Collab. I'm Max Jimenez, and I'm here with my co-host, Ryan Cash. What's up, Ryan?
Ooh, I like that intro, bro. I like that. Yeah. A little extra emphasis on cash. What's cracking?
Sir, yes, sir. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us tonight. Man, we have an exciting show tonight. And very good friend of ours, Mathew Potter, is going to be on. The dude's a beast, man. Honestly, right, Ryan? I mean, this guy.
Yeah, there's no one I've met that compares to this guy here.
You know what's crazy is I laugh at one thing I always laugh, like all the stuff you see on social media and whatever, right? To each his own. But then we come and talk to this guy, and it's like the real deal, right?
Yeah.
Like real deal, Holyfield. But we got a really exciting show tonight. You want to stay on to the end.
Lexi.
I mean, we already got some people jumping on. And remember, one thing I want to remind you, this is a live show. Three things is, number one, bring your questions. I'm telling you, Mathew, just like all our other guests, very helpful collaborator, gives back to the community. The guy is doing some amazing things. This is somebody that you want to learn from. He started, and I'm not going to tell a story, actually. I'm going to let him tell a story when he started, but you want to pay attention. One thing I always say, Ryan, is that who I pay attention to is who's been in the game the longest, right? Especially in these times right now. A lot of people talk a good game when it's that prosperity bubble, right? When people were easy to get deals, but the ones you learn from are the ones that have been through cycles and understand what's going on and things like that. But I'm gonna let him talk about that. And Ryan, we got a couple announcements. I'm actually gonna be in LA January 28th at the Dealmaker Summit. If you're out in LA, shoot me a DM. I'll make sure that you guys can get in there. Shoot me a DM. We're going to be having an amazing event with our good friend Alex Camacho and Will Wall. Really stoked for that as well. And then tomorrow we start the Closers Lab Intensive. So that's going to be bonkers. But also, we are still looking for team members, right? You want to tell them about that, Ryan?
Yes, absolutely. People, we need talent. So we are looking for people right now. We're growing and expanding into multiple markets as we speak. We have more leads than our guys can take on right now. And we actually have opportunities that we have to put on pause because we're not ready basically to take all this on. So we don't want to say no to business. We want to bring on more talent. We want to help you if you're trying to get into the real estate game, or if you're already in the game, but maybe stuck somewhere, don't know how to get over the hump, just need a little bit more hands-on training, hands-on, working side by side with someone showing you the ropes, the ins and outs. That's what we're here for. That's what we do. We help people all the time get better and advance in their career and take off and do other big things.
Perfect, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, so if you are looking for a great opportunity, you want to join a great team and, with some great training and inside of, having these relationships, you guys see who we bring on the show, and tonight's not anything different. Definitely reach out to Ryan. Ryan, how can they get a hold of you?
So at Real Ryan Overcash on IG, there is a link in my bio, Linktree, that you can apply directly through that. If you have questions, want to talk about it, message me, DM me directly, leave me the best way to contact you, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours of you messaging me. We'll have a conversation, see where you fit. If it's not with us, we know a lot of people in this industry. We can point you in the right direction and get you connected at any point.
Yes. And I'm going to put this disclaimer is, you're going to be going through a process. Plus, we're going to check out your IG handle, make sure to see what's going on. So, no, there is a process. There's a process. Obviously, we want to make sure we find the greatest talent, the best talent out there. So, but I think that's it for announcements, man. I want to bring on Mathew, man. Again, share this with somebody right now. I'm telling you, what you're going to hear tonight is amazing. This is not hype. We're not talking about glitter and glamour. This guy hustled, man. This guy's been, I'm gonna let him tell, like, this guy, like most people that get into, I know he's got a little bit different, but in our business, they start getting some deals and they tag the name CEO. They don't want to go to appointments no more. But this guy is grinding. But without further ado, I'm gonna bring him on. Mathew Short Sale King Potter. What up, baby? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How are you today? Thank you for having me on.
Of course, bro.
Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on time too, Mathew. We appreciate that, brother.
Look, we don't want to talk. We don't want to talk about time right now, Ryan. Do we? We don't.
No.
Yeah.
No. I had to get that out first.
Let's leave that backstage talk for backstage.
You got first blood. You just went in for it right out of the gate.
Yeah, you know what? I take sales classes from Max. I know how to cut it off right at the beginning.
Hey, that's what it is. You got to present the objection before the other party gets to. You got to resolve it right out of the gate.
Heck yeah, man.
That's it, brother. I appreciate you for being on. I know you're extremely busy, and you got, man. Besides being a dad and a husband and a business owner, you got a million and one things going on. And I know you're well known in the real estate space, but for sakes of just having somebody on here that doesn't know who you are, never heard of you, give us an introduction of who Mathew is and a little insight into your world, brother.
All right. Well, I'm a Virgo. I like long walks on the beach. No, I'm just like, so my real estate journey was very, very unconventional. Like a lot of ours has been. Yeah. I'd actually gone to school for realty studies degree from ASU. Right when I graduated, the market just went straight went in the crapper. I actually had like a really, really, really nice job lined up with Cushman & Wakefield for land development. Like, dude, I was going to be Mr. Commercial broker, 3-piece suit.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden I had to go into survival mode. There's no jobs. There's real estate's in the crapper. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what to do. And one of my friends called me and she's like, yo, you're really good at putting together puzzles and you're really good at getting people to see your point. You should come check out this job. And like, dude, I had no idea what it was. And I just went and I'm like, dude, I can't pay my bills on hopes and dreams. Like, I got to figure something out here.
Right.
So I went, I interviewed. The guy was like, dude, you're exactly the person we need for the job. And like, no joke, I didn't even know what the hell the job was.
You just said, let me get in there and work.
I was like, dude, whatever you need from me, just let me know. And they were like, all right, do you know what a short sale is? And I'm like, dude, I have no idea, but I'll figure it out. I'm like, just tell me what it is. And, for those that don't know, short sale is when you owe X on it and your house is only worth Y. You got to negotiate with the bank and let the bank, go ahead and take that loss and approve that loss so that you can sell it to avoid foreclosure. So I interviewed on a Friday. I started on a Tuesday and I closed my first short sale like 3 weeks later. And it was one that had been with the company for like 3.5 years. And the CEO was like, how did you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just started calling people at the bank until somebody gave me the answer I wanted. And they're like, no, you don't understand. It's been 3.5 years. And I'm like, well, good. I'm glad we finally got paid on the deal. So why are we waiting 3.5 years to get paid on deals? Like, this is dumb, dude. So
I love
that happened. My transaction manager got hired on like a week later. She's still with me to this day.
Wow.
So
who is that, Mathew? Was that
that's Marissa.
Oh, she goes by one name. That's when you know she's good. I know her in the industry as Marissa.
Exactly. Like literally, people hear Marissa, they're like, "Oh, dude, I'm in good hands. Like, we're gonna be in a good spot." So Marissa is still with me. What, 15, 16 years later? So 15 years later. 6 months after that, my wife actually got hired on as a closer. Like, I didn't even know her at that time. She got hired on. We hated each other right out of the gate. I was like, dude, she's got all the attitude and sass in the world, and she hated me because I was this cocky dude. And she's like, I don't like you. And I'm like, I don't like you either. And then I started getting deals approved and sending them to her, and she started closing them. And I'm like, all right, look, we gotta coexist, because I'll do my part really well, you do your part really well, and like, hey, let's just make it a win-win for everybody. And boom, dude, we were off to the races. And then, you know, one day she tricked me with her voodoo, and now we're married. We're married. You know, we got 4 kids. Like, you know, we got multiple
this is awesome
businesses.
Story,
I mean, and like
Yeah.
the thing that's wild is, because I know everybody wants to know, and I know that, you know, you've talked about it. Yes, we've done a lot of short sales. We've done more short sales than some banks.
Right.
As of, I think the last time I looked at it was November. We're over 18,600 that we've worked on now since.
Holy
So,
smokes,
like,
dude.
you're talking about just absolute, and like obviously during 07 till about 2012, 2013.
Right.
That was
yeah.
But there's still a lot of them that we're doing. I mean, literally on the way home, while I was driving faster than the suggestion, you know, I got an email from a dude that was like, yo, he's like, I'm listing this one over in Pennsylvania. He's like, I'll get you the list price in the docs tomorrow. And I was like, bro, there you go. So it's one of those things, you know, still helping people out all over the country. And like I said, I mean, you know, once the short sales died down, we did traditional real estate. We do fix and flip. We work with hedge funds. You know, there's a multitude of facets of our business, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Got it. No, that's amazing, man. I think, you know, I know your story. I just want you to share it because I know there's a lot of people that, you know, that maybe haven't heard it, that are watching, that might be watching now or watching on a replay. When you first got started, what I guess when you first got that first job, what year was that? What exactly do you remember? Or obviously you do remember, but what year was it, in right around what time?
It was June 8th of 2007.
Okay.
8th even. Okay. Or the exact date, Matthew, whatever.
Hey, come on, dude. You got to be good. Hey, you got to be good with numbers if you're going to be in this game, bro. Come on.
So that was like, that was, I mean, literally right a minute before the crash, right? I mean, before like
right as it started, literally right as it started.
Got it. So you started right as the crash started, which is really unique in itself, right? Like you would think about it, but one thing you did say though, one thing when you were saying about you were, you know, obviously going out looking at this, was the mentality you had was like, I got to pay my bills and I'm just going to go, you know, obviously apply here. I don't know what the position's about, but put me to work. And, you know, that's very unique because, you know, I think that's a thing that's missing quite a bit from nowadays. Right. I mean, that's a whole another conversation we get into, right? The mindset of today's individuals and, you know,
let me know when part 2 is, brother.
For sure. You know, I got you, bro. That's another podcast. We'll get into that one. So then, you know, you start rocking and rolling with this company. How many, so this specific company, because obviously you're on your own now, but how long were you there and about how many deals were you cranking out a month with this company?
So I was there until December 20th of 2009. So yeah, I know my dates because January 14th of 2010, I got sued. It's irrelevant. So
you get sued in real estate?
just a time or two. So what had happened there, so that everybody doesn't think I'm a horrible person, was they shut down the company. Me, my wife, and my transaction manager, Marissa, we left and started our own company where we charged the agents less money. So they were putting more in their pocket.
Right.
So we were able to help more homeowners. So like when we were at the original company, like at first they gave me like, I think it was the first day they gave me a pipeline of like 26. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, not a big deal. And then within like 2 to 3 weeks, I had like 15 of them submitted for approval. And they were like, holy shit. Like I don't know if we're supposed to cuss, but whatever. I'm me.
You're good, bro. Yeah, you're you. Don't worry about it.
Dude, it is what it is. So once I had those 15 submitted for approval, they're like, dude, we need your workhorse clearly. So like, let's go ahead and load you up. So then it was 50, then it was 100, then it was a couple hundred. And like, I think once I got towards the end, I was carrying a pipeline of like 1,500 that I was doing at any moment. And then I was pushing over several hundred at a time to Nicole to go ahead and close them.
Damn. Okay.
I'm curious, just curious off the bat on how you organize this stuff. Because this seems like a lot of transaction, Matthew, and we don't deal not even close to that. And it's hard for me to keep my mind on everything. So that's what sticks out to me is how the heck did you keep track of all this stuff?
So that's the beautiful thing. Marissa is the most organized person on the planet. So it starts on the front end with her because she's the one that takes care of all the docs, makes sure they're all compliant, and then she sends them over to me. Mine, for lack of better words, is literally just talking to the banks and it's the art of the deal. It's just putting the deal together.
Right.
Nicole's aspect of it is, again, kind of a smush of both of those of let's keep title organized, and let's make sure that we're doing good with inspections, appraisals, financing contingencies, anything like that. So like the funny thing is the CRM that we have for this business is the most archaic, simple, like if you saw it, you would be like, bro, what? Like, I think it's literally like the company that we have it through doesn't even have that version anymore. And they're like, you need to upgrade. And I'm like, no, I'm not upgrading. Like, leave it alone. Like, it worked perfect for us. So it's by us knowing what to do and where to put it in the CRM, it just makes the process just go literally seamless. It's kind of like our own personal like Podio or something like that, where, you know, Podio works really well for a lot of people on the investment side. And there's a lot of different ones. We kind of have that proprietary one that we built out where what makes sense to me is probably never going to make sense to somebody else. So other people would probably look at it and be like, dude, I could do better with a Google Sheet. Yeah. Good. Then use a Google Sheet. This is what worked for us.
It's a system that has worked and there's no need to change it, right? If it's not broken, why fix it? I guess that's the old saying, right? It sounds like.
And like literally we've used the same CRM since 2010 or 2009.
Yeah.
Damn. For that. Like we have different ones for like the traditional side and things like that. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So how did the bank, so not how, but excuse me, what was the connection? What were you being referred to the banks, or did the banks hear about you, or how did that connection happen where you had these, you know, up to 1,500 files at once, or was that just you doing like through the homeowner and reaching out to the banks, and that's how the connection happened? Because I know REOs were huge back then, right? And then that was the source. So you had the REOs, right? Real estate owned, and so you were, you know, they would give you files, or can you explain that, how that worked out for you?
So it was twofold, and like I've always been very unconventional in my marketing style,
right?
So the first aspect of it was we ran a short sale company. We had good SEO. People reached out to us. Oh my God, I'm underwater. I need help. You know, so we had that effect.
Yeah, the marketing.
So like, for example, say that you reached out to me, said, bro, I'm underwater. I need to sell my house. Help me out. At that point in time, I would just partner with an agent. You know, I would say, Nicole, hey, Nicole, I need you to list Max's property as a short sale. We'll handle the paperwork and the back end with the bank. You do what you do best. Everybody have a great day. The second part of that, which one feeds the other, is we advertised to agents. Hey, don't do the short sale yourself. Let us handle all the back end BS with them. We know the people at the banks that make the decisions. We know Equator, REO Trans, you know, all the other different versions that different banks had. I think there was like ResNet. Oh God. The PTSD right there, dude. So it was one of those things. We did that. And then once the banks and the government kind of caught on that they needed to do short sales to stop the bleeding, and, you know, the HAFA program came out where they were paying homeowners to do short sales. We got in with the banks on that, and they would actually have homeowners reach out to us and they'd give our information, and then we'd go ahead and list them out. And like, Dude, some of the homeowners got like 30, 40, 50 G's for doing short sales.
What?
And they're like, why would anybody not do a short sale? I'm like, yeah, tell your friends, tell your family, tell
Dang.
anybody.
How did that happen though? If it's a short sale.
So what it was, you remember that wonderful, I don't even know how many people are going to remember this. Do you remember TARP, the Troubled Asset Relief Program? It was $700 billion that Bush signed right when he was like walking out the door.
Right.
So from that, the banks got a ton of money, and it was to help homeowners. So they didn't do a very good job for like the first 3 years of helping homeowners. And then when Obama was going for his, I think it was 2011 when he was going to campaigning for re-election, they cracked down on the banks and they said, yo, we need you guys to help more homeowners, incentivize them so that foreclosures stop, give them loan mods, give them refinances at extremely low rates. So that's what they started using that money for. So like, for example, if your bank and then the back end investor that's behind the mortgage that actually that holds the note, if they were participating in the program, they would pay you money to do the short sale. But the crazy part about that was like, people are like, how the hell are you getting 30 grand to do a short sale? The bank is getting the money back from the federal government under the TARP program. So like the bank was essentially just kind of a pass through.
Wow. Yeah. It's so it sounds like it was coming out of our pocket. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely paid for it, and we're still paying for it today.
Oh yeah, none of that stuff's paid back yet. So interesting. Okay, so it was so it sounds like there was multiple sources, right? It was SEO and marketing and collaboration and relationships, and then obviously these banks that have portfolios of REOs, they started bringing them your way. So that's cool. And then through you said up to 2010. Was there a market shift in 2010? Because I know I wasn't in real estate until about the beginning of 2015. So between 2010 and 2014, there was somewhat of a spike. Did short sales start to slow down, or what happened between those dates?
So this is what was wild about it, and like I'm totally happy that this happened because it completely changed the trajectory of my entire life, honestly.
Right.
So the owners of the company that we were working at, they had gotten in good with the banks to process some of their short sales to alleviate the workload.
Yeah.
That being said, me, Nicole, and Marissa, we accounted for like 96% of their closings. So like,
wow,
we know that we're the company at the end of the day. Like we know that.
Right.
They were like, hey, we're going to go work for the banks instead of the homeowners now. And I was like, bro, that doesn't sit right with me. Like I'm trying to help people not go through a foreclosure. And I understand that you guys are trying to speed up the process so less people go through foreclosure. But like, dude, David versus Goliath, bro, I'm David all day. Like you can be Goliath over here with Bank of America, but I'm going to go help the people. So they ended up shutting down that section of the company. And when they did that, they released all of those homeowners and all of those realtors from their contractual obligations.
Okay.
We went ahead and just started our company on January 1st, 2010. And all those agents that had been released brought all of those transactions back to us. So like literally it was like all we did was we enjoyed our Christmas break, and then January 1st, boom, we hit the ground running. And we were
started back up again.
It was one of those things, like it had to be the fastest intake of files I've ever seen, because it was like January 1st, 0 files. By the end of January 1st, there was like 450. And I'm like, there you go. Like, let's go. And, nobody's doing squat on New Year's Day anyways.
No, bro. Everything's pretty much closed anyway. So
yeah. So like we were in the office. We were having a good time. We ended up getting, things processed. Things were right back where they were. And then up until I think it was about December of 2012, January of 2013, we just continued just absolutely crushing it. And then the market got into a little bit better of a spot where short sales weren't as prevalent. and we realized that we would probably need to make a little bit of a, not even necessarily a paradigm shift, but just we would have to pivot slightly
Right.
to be operating at the same level that we currently are.
Right.
So, it's one of those things, like, you move with the market, like,
Right.
the last 2 years, like, you could pretty well just throw any property against the wall and you were going to make money off it. Now,
100%.
now you actually got to put in, some real work and close some deals. And, like I said, that's kind of the trajectory and what happened with us.
Right. No, that makes sense. It's true. I always, the joke I always say is that, a year ago you could throw in a year, and then back all the way up to where COVID started, like you could throw a rock, land a deal, throw another rock, and sell the deal, right? Like you didn't need to do anything. You just basically became an order taker.
Yeah. And I would list a property for sale, and it was one of those where I would list it and I'd just be like, okay, here it comes. And hey, here's an offer. We'll go see it tomorrow. And it's, $50K above ask. And I'm like, why? Like, come on.
I want to get into that. I want your mindset on that, because I know you were involved in some heavy transactions during that time. And yeah, you were. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But Vicente's got a unique question. I wanted to save it to a little bit later, but I want him to. He says, "Yo, because of your experience, Mathew, in short sales, from your perspective, can you infer anything about the housing market for the next 36 months, 12, 34, 6 months? What are you seeing?" I mean,
I'm going to have to get out the crystal ball, give it a little polish. I would love to say that I have a crystal ball and that I'm going to know the answer to this. I don't think anybody does.
No, not at all.
I will say this. I have seen an uptick in short sales, notice of defaults, notice of trustee sales here in Arizona and nationwide. We have a great realtor partner in Georgia. We've done their short sales since 2007. They literally texted me this weekend and said, yo, short sales are up like 800% here. Or sorry, not short sales, foreclosure filings. My apology on that. She's like, are you guys still doing short sales? And I was like, if you ever ask me that question again, just know that there better be a tag on my toe, because I'm going to do them until the day I die. And she's like,
right.
Perfect. Send me over your updated package. I'm going to go start knocking on doors. And I was like, there you go. So you're seeing an uptick in it. Do I believe that we're going to have the market crash of 07, 08? No, there's different factors here. But I think that we can all agree. I know we have people from all over the country that are tuning in. But here in Phoenix, we know from June of last year to where we are now, like if you go numbers to numbers, not some bullshit, analysis, actual numbers to numbers,
right,
we're down about 17 to 20% in most of your price points.
Right.
And you're starting to see that in your secondary markets that were really hot, your Atlantas, your Charlottes, your Indianas. There's a good realtor partner we have in Indiana. She does a ton of REOs there. She hit me up. She's like, I just got assigned 50 REO properties. And I was like, holy shit. Like,
damn.
You don't hear that very often. So
yeah,
for me, I think right now the market, I don't think that the market is going to come down much more, but I do believe it has the opportunity to come down more.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's going to be based on fiscal policy. Whatever happens with the Fed, what happens with interest rates, and then ultimately what happens with consumer behavior. I mean, there's not a lot of people lining up for an entry-level home that want to pay $3,500 a month on an FHA. Like,
no.
It is what it is, dude. I'm not going to be mad at somebody for that and be like, hey, it's your fault that the market's not moving. Just get a $3,500 a month mortgage there, Sonny. It's fine. No, I get it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, let me ask you, what do you think is driving that factor? Is it the COVID moratorium? Yeah. Is that what it is? Or is it people that were on some type of like deferment from because I know they were like on a 10-year, right? When the crash happened, and what is it? Or is it a multiple of those two?
A little from column A and a little from column B. So what you're seeing right now, like for example, I got a gentleman I'm working with right now here locally in Phoenix. he was on a COVID moratorium, forbearance, call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
They gave him whatever the hell it was, 2 years, 3 years. I think it was 2 years. He called me up. He's like, hey, I got your info from an agent that told me you're the dude to talk to when you're facing foreclosure. And I was like, all right, what's up, bud? And he's like, my mortgage is $1,200. I was on a forbearance. He's like, it reset and now it's at $1,950 a month. And I'm like, damn, like that's a jump. Like
that is a big jump.
Jump. Like, you know, and it's all relative. I mean, you know, if you're 2,500 to 3,300, that's also a huge jump too. So he was like, dude, he's like, I just need out. I need to get it sold. The good news is he's in an equity position at the moment, but I think you're going to start to see this. And Max, we've seen this before in the market. You might be in an equity position today, but in 3 months with that added payoff and where buyer demand is, you might be in a short sale at that point.
100%.
I didn't even think of that.
That's kind of one of the other things that I'm looking at because, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, I've been around a little bit, but okay, sure. Have a great day. Stay blessed. But when I see it, I see that there's going to be this convergence that's going to occur where the payoffs are going to run up. The buyer demand is, I guess, technically coming down at that point.
Right.
And then, okay, your only option is you got to short it or you got to foreclose on it, which obviously that's never the goal. Foreclosures aren't that fun.
No, they're not.
Would definitely rather help some people, you know, save their credit and kind of move on down the line and get in a better spot and help them again, you know, when they're fully recovered. Yeah.
No, for sure. It's interesting time right now. Going back to Vicente's question, I think, you know, nobody knows. It's a really weird, you know, again, you know, if you go back to like the 2008 crash, like you can pin it down to, you know, bad financing, right? Subprime and, you know, people buying houses they weren't supposed to buy and, you know, not, you know, there was people who didn't have business qualifying for homes, right? For certain types of homes and banks got really greedy. So there's the one big thing that made it happen. Right now, there's multiple things happening everywhere, right? Like from COVID to the fake money that got flooded into the market, right? I mean, the interest rates going up, like so. You're having all these arrows. It's not. I don't know. There's really not some you can point to. That's why it's hard to. Go ahead.
I was going to say to that point as well, because you had touched on it and I completely did not go down that road. You are at the point where your 10-year loan mods are adjusting from the end of that HARP HAMP period, 12, 13. And I think I had this conversation actually with you, Max.
Yeah, we did.
I think we had this conversation like 3 or 4 years ago.
We did, yeah.
It was like, bro, I was like, watch for 22, 23, 24, and 25, because that's when those are going to cycle through. And, you know, depending on where we are market-wise, depending on where we are property value-wise, because some of these people, they've been effectively, you know, they've had what buyers and sellers have had for the last 2 years, where they've had artificially low mortgage payments for what they owe on their home.
Correct.
So even though their home may have gone up to here, their mortgage is down here. And like at the end of the day, like, bro, if your income is $3,000 a month and you can afford $1,200 for a mortgage, when that shit adjusts from $1,200 to $2,800, you got to move. You got to sell. Like you're not going to make the payment. It's just the position that you're in. So
yeah, well, and then you know, whatever you've been doing for the last, we'll even say 5 years, but even now more 10 years, like that's the new norm, right? So a disruption of, you know, a $500 increase or, you know, $700 increase, that's an impact. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
So when those come due, as far as like either refi or sell, that's the only option, I'm assuming.
Those are pretty much the only options because, you know, under the HAMP and HAFA and HARP, you know, HARP was more refinance, so that was permanent, so that didn't matter.
Yeah.
But under the home affordable mortgage or loan modification mortgage program that they had, once those expire, like your traditional loan mods aren't going to be anything as friendly as those. Like those are the most friendly. Like one of them that I saw was like we'll extend your term to 50 years on your loan.
Right.
And you're going to have a 1.5% interest rate for the first 10 years. And I was like, the seller's like, well, maybe I should just short sell. And I'm like, look, I'm probably the worst businessman on the planet for telling you this, because I should never tell my customer not to do my business. But bro, you should keep that, and just like, that's a gift right there.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. And I'm like, you got to have a roof over your head, and it's an affordable payment, so roll with it. You know, to this day, they're still in that house, actually.
Wow.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome.
That is
I like
cool,
that.
actually. Yeah, I love that. It's crazy, man. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't get talked about, especially these kind of things, right? Where, and most people want to get an understanding of, you know, what's happening, why is the market changing, why, you know what I mean? And this is the stuff that, you know what I mean? I know the information is not readily available, especially at this depth, right? Like, you got to have years of experience. I mean, where you at, like, on your 15 year now, 16 years and doing this?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, it is. Damn. Like, yeah, I think I'm
That's crazy, bro.
Dude, what happened? I'm at 16, and I think Nicole's at 18.
Wow.
So, I mean, between the two of us, you got 34, and then you throw Marissa in there. I mean, Marissa's been doing it the same amount of time. So you're talking 50 years between the three of us.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was about to say, and I love the longevity and the loyalty of the group, you three. I think that is so cool. I love hearing those types of stories, man. So the fact that you three are still going strong, I know it's your wife, obviously, but still, all three of you still going strong. I think that's really cool.
Dude, anybody on this knows that my wife is the glue that holds everything together. Like, she is, and like, God bless her. You know, she's downstairs with the kids right now while I'm sitting here talking shop.
Podcasting.
She is the best though. But yeah, like, dude, I appreciate that, Ryan, and like, that's one of the things we strive on is like, when I make the investment into people, like, you know, Max, I've known you since 2015. Like, dude,
a long time.
I've never wavered on that. I hope that I know you in 2030, 2040, 2050.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I hope I know you in the afterlife, dude. We can sit there and still shoot the shit. Like,
yeah,
that's my goal. Like, dude, because at the end of the day, and this is one of the number one things we learned in the short sale game, relationships, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's how you get anything done.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. Yeah, because you and I did I think before I even partnered up with Steve, actually, you and I we did a deal together. It was there. Yeah, it was in right off of 3rd Dunlap and like 3rd Street, I think, a short sale that you had listed. And then do you remember that one?
I remember my homeowner's name on it. I remember that one.
Do you?
that was the
that was like what, 2017 or 20? I don't even remember when. Yeah, 2017, like 2017 or 2016.
I think it was 2016, and I remember that one. It was like, dude, it was right there on Dunlap, like
right in the corner. Yeah,
and it was you and Moises were
Moises. Yeah,
you guys were partners on that, and I was like, I don't know. Let me know if you guys want to buy it. And you're like, yeah, dude, we'll buy it. And you guys did good on it, man.
Yeah, we did. It was really good. And then but check this out. The seller sold it a year and a half, maybe later, because the market appreciated and stuff. And they did good on it too. When they resold it. So everybody did good on that one.
And dude,
win.
And my client got out. They were able to get to Nebraska. They bought their little family farm that they wanted there. So again, dude, it's a win-win for everybody.
100%. Hey, let me ask you this. So, because I know a lot of people that watch this and that might watch this on the replay. You know, a lot of them are starting out, or they do wholesaling majority, or they do some kind of a bit of investing. And I know the question is always this: can you not wholesale short sell?
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. Why are you gonna hit me? Why are you gonna hit me with the $1 million question?
You know, that's what people always think about.
Oh, man. I know, and it's, dude. I answer this question probably at least 5 times a day, at least 5. So this is the thing. Depending on the transaction in the bank and the ultimate note holder behind it, will depend on what you can do with it. Max, you know this because I think this is what we had actually on that Dunlap property.
Yep.
They'll create a deed restriction that's filed with the property that says for 30 days you can't do anything with it. After 30 days, you can sell it for 120% of whatever you acquired it for. After 90, 91 days, you can do anything you want with it. We don't care. Have a great day. So you're going to find that on probably 95% of the short sales transactions. So it's one of those things, factor that in. The other thing is on those other 5%, it may not expressly say, hey, don't assign this or don't double close on this or something like that. If there's one thing that I've learned, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
When you're playing with the bank's money and you're asking the bank to take less money than they're owed, if there's, at the end of the day, the bank is always going to win. And like, I know of a guy, and granted it was $1 million property and he got himself $1 million spread on it. And he also got himself sentenced to 17 years in prison. What? It ain't worth it, bro. Like it's not. So like, I tell people, I'm like, look, take it down. If you don't have the ability to, partner with someone that can take it down. Like, you sometimes you gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta walk before you run. Like, partner with somebody, get your boots wet, go through the process, learn with some of the best in the business, and then get to the point where you can do the same and just rinse and repeat. That's all you gotta do. Just rinse and repeat at that point. So I always tell people, please don't wholesale it. If you decide to, like, hey, good luck and Godspeed.
I'm assuming, again, have you seen sales unwind because people assign or double close?
I'm sorry.
Have you seen any of your short sales or anybody that's done short sales or got involved in a short sale transaction where the sale was unwound or they called it back either because they assigned it or tried to double close it, or they try to sell it, right? Because during that restriction, have you seen that?
Yes. I was called in. I was called into the principal's office at one of the banks.
Right.
No joke. I literally got an email from the number 2 in command at this bank. And I've communicated with her a lot through my career. So I figured she was just, reaching out to me about something, and it was, urgent, loan number, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I open it and it's like, we saw that this property is being advertised for sale by, ABC Venture, whatever it was, for X amount. Due to that, we are going to cancel the short sale approval that has been issued. We are disallowing a short sale to be done on this. And it was one of those, I freaked out because I didn't even know, honestly.
Wow. I
didn't know. So I called her and I was like, look, with all due respect, I understand this. And I tell people not to do this. I'm like, I want you to know that first and foremost. I'm like, let me go ahead and rectify this. I'm totally fine with you revoking the approval. I'll go resell it to somebody else that, is not an investor or not looking to do this. And so that happened, and I went and talked to him, and I was like, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that, right? And he's like, oh, well, I didn't think it was a big deal. And I'm like, you think it's not a big deal? Dude, you're blacklisted by this bank, and if you think banks don't share info, come on, dude. You probably just killed off a very solid deal flow for you.
Yeah.
So that ended up happening. I've never worked with that guy again on a deal.
Right.
And we were able to get that one approved, get it closed. It went to a traditional buyer. Everybody was happy. It's water under the bridge. But yeah, dude, it happens, and the bank has the power to do it. They do.
Yeah. No, of course they, especially like you said, when you're playing with their money, right? They have ultimate power. They don't want you. They don't want to see you making a profit after they took quote unquote a loss, right? But yeah.
Hey, Matthew, that makes sense completely. Not arguing at all, but I was just curious. They really have the power. They approve something. Again, you go out and do what you're supposed to do. I mean, do something not supposed to do. Obviously, make a little money. They have the power to be like, oh, hell no, you can't do that. They can really pull that back, huh?
They do. And let's be honest, they got lawyers that, you know, have New York addresses. Like, dude, I'm not going up against those law firms. And like, though, like literally like in their approval paperwork and like, I mean, everybody from the big boys, you know, your B of A, your Chase, your Wells, all the way down to your small time ones. Like, dude, there's so much fine print that you don't even think about. Like, there was one with Wells Fargo like years ago. Their approval letter was 18 pages long before they finally shortened it up. And I mean, it pretty much said in there, like, dude, if you sneeze wrong, bro, you're toast. Like, we don't even.
Okay, so they at least tell you what you can and can't do.
They do. They tell you. So, like, I mean, it's not one of those like, oh, hey, I got caught totally off guard. It's, hey, dude, like you stepped outside of what you were doing.
Okay.
Yeah. I know one thing I learned from you, Matt, was the interesting the perspective of, you know, there's the law, there's government, right? And there's, you know, and then there's the bank's law, right? Like they govern themselves. You're like, every bank does. Because I remember, you know, we were always sending deals to you and the short sales, and it's like, dude, this bank, I don't know what they're gonna do. They pretty much govern themselves, and they can do whatever they want at the end of the day, as long as it doesn't break the law. But they still do whatever they want.
Oh yeah, no, there's some of them where I'm just like, you know, some people send it over. They're like, what do you think? I'm like 50-50 shot. Like, let's at least try.
Yeah.
But you know, like there's even some that there's one where they have a master participation trust that's behind them that has a pool of loans. They won't even touch a short sale. Like literally, I'll be like, hey, I got this paperwork. And they're like, yeah, no, we're going to foreclose and we're putting it in a rental fund. And I was like, God, it's a little brutal. I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. There's not really anything I can do about that. Like, it's just a hard no from them. Like, you could go to 1600 Pennsylvania in DC. They ain't going to care. They're going to be like, yeah, we don't care. We rewrote the rules and they're legal. So have a great day.
Yeah, no, so true. So true. Cool. And then I want to talk a little bit about fast forwarding over to the last 3 years for you. Cause I know that, man, you were humming for a long time, and talk a little bit about where that journey started for you working with institutional buyers and hedge funds. I know that was like the what is it called? The new gold, right? The new so talk a little bit about how that started and how you became like the go-to guy for them, because I know you were moving quite a bit of units for them.
I pushed a little bit. Just a skosh. So
you were their Pablo Escobar, bro.
I was definitely their El Padrón, dude. I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what had happened was. So
don't worry, bro. Don't worry. You were pushing legal stuff, bro. You can talk You can talk openly.
So it actually all goes back to, ironically enough, my short sale days. So by us being able to facilitate and manage that level of transactions, that bodes really well for an institutional buyer that's looking to do acquisitions on a very large scale.
Right.
So I received a call from a good contact who had also, I guess, they had already vetted me before they even called me.
Right.
And ironically enough, I was just coming off COVID. I had brain fog. I was not 100%. I was like, you know, talking to him, and he's like, I know that you're the guy to do this in the Phoenix market. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? And he's like, you're going to buy houses. I'm going to give you a list of houses and you're going to go buy them. And I'm like, all right. I mean, hey, if it's not me, it's going to be somebody else. I might as well try. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, let me know. And he's like, we've been using this other guy. He got overwhelmed after about 10 transactions a month. And I was like, yeah, dude, that ain't me, bro. Like, I'm like, don't worry about that. So that call was at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By 4, I had their template that they wanted me to use.
Right.
The next morning, I had 6 offers on a sheet, and then I got 4 more offers that afternoon. And within 24 hours, I had like 4 of them under contract.
Damn.
And like, okay. He's like, clearly you know how to talk to people and know how to put deals together. And I'm like, well, it's not hard when it's cash.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, dude, cash and a good attractive price is a pretty easy.
Right. Well, and then a very restrict, or not restricted, but a very what is it called, the template, right? Like
Yeah.
one box.
It's a very specific buy box.
Yeah, specific. Excuse me, that's the word I was looking for.
Specific. Yeah. So, we started doing that, and I think the first month we closed like 12, and I was like, dude, this is pretty cool. Like, okay. The next month we closed 25, and then the next month, the director of acquisitions over there called me. He's like, how hard do you think you can push this? And I was like, bro, I'm like, I could go get 1,000 deals a month for you if you really want. I'm like, but it just comes down to what you guys are trying to accomplish. And he's like, all right, cool. And then I started getting like 30 offers a day to do. And I was like, let's go. All right.
Damn.
And I think the best month that we had with that particular client was we closed like 85 in 1 month with them.
Damn.
And Marissa like literally was working from like, dude, she was working from like 4:30 in the morning until like 10:30 at night. And she was like, look, I'm not going to complain about this because I know, dude, when the sun is shining, make your hay. Like, dude, I'm going to go for it. And like, so super funny on that because she's so dedicated to the process as well.
Mm-hmm.
She was pregnant during this time.
Oh, shoot.
She's got pregnancy. She's not feeling well. She don't care. She's still working 12, 14 hours. So like when we were winding into a new fund that they were purchasing for, she's like, all right, I'm going on maternity leave. I'm going to be off for a month. And I'm like, okay, like, dude, I'm like a lost puppy without my wife and Marissa. Like, dude, forget it. I'm not going to get anything done. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we had somebody else come in. She was very good, but she's not Marissa. Marissa knows me. I know Marissa. I don't need to do anything because Marissa is going to clean up my hurricane that I just, threw on her desk.
Yep.
Literally after 2 weeks, Marissa was like, yo, I'm coming back because I can tell that your stress level is like a solid 1,000 and I need to clean this up so that you can focus on what you're doing. And that next week, I ended up putting like another like 35 under contract for them.
Damn.
And she was like, see, this is why this works. Mom, here to take care of it. I'm like, damn right you are. Like, absolutely. So, we had a really good year with them in 21. I think in 21 we did like 400 transactions with them. In 22, obviously the market shifted a little bit in 22, but we still did about 215 with them, and we're still doing transactions with them today. It's just, they're not giving you 110% of your asking price cash, and it's the market has adjusted. But they're still buying, and they're still buying, good deals, and they're easy to work with, and they're pretty well a guaranteed close.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy. So 400 transactions, and then 250 you said last year. That's just
it was 210, but it's probably closer actually to 250 because we also expanded out into Atlanta and Charlotte and Jacksonville.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
And I think I'm licensed in Nevada, so I think I'm working there too.
And that was just all from the one source, right? The one
from this one client, correct?
Got it. What did you do anything else outside of them, or you just book with them?
Oh yeah, bro. I'm still hustling my ass off, dude. Like I'm showing homes, listing appointments. I still manage the day-to-day on our short sale, and from that aspect, I do the intake on the sales call because I'm really good at it. But that being said, like if I'm super busy and something needs to be addressed, Marissa can handle it 100%. You're in great hands with her. Dude, she's gonna look, Max, here you go. Here's a package. Have a good day. Let's get it going. All right, it's already like literally one of the guys in California the other day was like, how the hell is this already submitted for approval? And I'm like, welcome to the party. This is what happens when you have one person that really knows what they're doing, and you're really, what you're really doing on your side as the agent, and you put it together, it's a win-win.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love
You
that.
know what else comes to, and this comes to mind, because again, I don't know this business at all, Matthew. Like, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around all the stuff you're doing. So what comes to me is you're taking on these counts, multiple transactions, and again, it's just you, your wife, and Marissa.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a ton of people working for you. Like, that just blows my mind, dude.
Dude,
You're unreal, Matthew. You're unreal, bro. Seriously. Something's wrong with you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a compliment for sure.
Trust me, I know what you're saying.
Damn, man.
It's one of those things. Like, dude, I attribute my work ethic to my parents.
Okay.
You know, I grew up as a competitive swimmer, so it was always me against, you know, whatever was out there. So it was one of those things. Like, I could always go longer and harder than anybody else. So, you know, it's translated into this. And actually, to your point, Ryan, I had an agent that in 21, I think it was 21 when we closed the 400 plus deals with them. Somebody had made a post and they were like, you know, I closed 80 transactions this year. It was a banner year, which 80 transactions is an amazing number for an agent. Absolutely. And they were like, you know, tell us what you did and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I closed 400 this year, you know. And this agent got into it with me. And I was like, look, like, I get throwing some hate and some shade every now and then, but like, dude, I'm not the guy. Like, I don't think you want to go down that road. And she's like, there's no way that you did 400 transactions. You clearly have a team of like 30 agents behind you. And I was like, look, I got a team of like 7 agents, but that 400 is just me, my wife, and my transaction manager. I mean, if you want me to throw in my team's numbers, like, dude, we're probably closer, you know, 450, 460. Yeah. And she's like, it's not humanly possible. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm not here to argue with you. I got 30 deals I gotta go close. Like, have a great day. Like, I got to get back to work.
Instead of be like, how did you do that? I want to learn how I can do that.
Yeah, how can I get closer to you?
Yeah, for real, dude. You know what? Coming at me like that was probably not the way for her to get closer.
No, it's not, for sure, man. It's freaking awesome stuff. That's crazy. And you know, a lot of you know, obviously we tried to work with you on some of the stuff. We just, you know, we had a lot going on and stuff. We sold, I don't think we ever even sold 1 or 2 deals to hedge funds, but I know a lot of wholesale companies. So hedge funds are currently still buying right now. They're just being more selective.
They're being more selective, but they are. And I mean, I'm actually looking at it right here. Atlanta, Austin, Charlotte, Columbia, South Carolina, Dallas, Fort Worth, Phoenix, Houston, Jacksonville, Vegas, Orlando. So, I mean, kind of your Sun Belt areas. They're buying in all those metros. I mean, like I said, are they going to sit there and are they going to throw $500,000 cash at you on something that's, you know, a 3-bed, 1-bath, 800 square foot, you know, McDowell 19th Ave? Probably not. Like, dude, it ain't going to happen. Those days are gone. But if it's an asset that yields well for them, yeah, dude, they'll buy them all day. Like, I put one under contract, I think it was yesterday, down in Maricopa. You know, they're still buying in Copa because at the end of the day, it's affordable rents and affordable prices. Like, that's all that it is. So they're still buying there. They're definitely active in the Southeast as well for, you know, our viewers and listeners in the Atlanta area. And I always tell everybody, reach out to me. Like, if you have a deal and maybe you want to see if it's a fit for a hedge fund, reach out to me. Let me go ahead and get it in front of them. And if there's a good, solid offer, great. Like, dude, let's go ahead and help you put a deal together.
I love it, man. Amazing, man. Matthew, I know we're coming up to the hour here. I want to touch on one more thing here with you, but it's crazy how as we look at your journey and how you navigated this market, these markets shifts and these changes, and they continue, but you've had that longevity. I mean, and I know backstage we were talking about one separator because we're seeing right now, right, which is the hustle and the skill set, right? And so my next thing that I want to talk to you about, and we'll wrap this up, is that going forward, what are you seeing as far as what are you going to be doing? I mean, obviously for you, it could be business as usual, or it could be whatever that is. I know there's a lot of people that maybe I'd only been in this business 3 years, or maybe 2 years, who knows, they were in that prosperity bubble that's no longer here. What are some things you can tell those people? Maybe they still want to continue, but they have never navigated those waters.
I think right now is you have to work on your craft. Whatever it is, you got to work on it. And I'll be the first one to admit I got a little rusty on buyer appointments. Like I did. Like it's the nature of the beast, especially when you're working with an institutional investor.
Right.
So I took a step back and I looked at it, especially with kind of what I'm doing right now. We're building a network of agents to kind of help me across the country as well, and here in Phoenix. I was like, how the hell can I speak on something that I'm not even doing?
Yeah.
So like, I need to get my ass out there and do it myself. Like literally right before this, bro, I drove an hour away to North Phoenix. I was showing property to a referral client.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Dude, you get in the car, you get out there, you take care of that person, you take care of that one person. And Max, Ryan, we know this, that you never know what one relationship will create is the thing. So like, dude, you gotta really focus on the relationships. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm focusing on my relationships with industry professionals, also my clients, because at the end of the day, industry professionals feed some of my businesses. They do. Like, okay, cool. Like I can get deals for the hedge fund. I can help people out. Hey, that's a great win-win. Short sale, I can help an agent, a homeowner, whoever else. So that's the main thing that I'm putting a focus on, is waking up every day. And like, this has always been something that I've subscribed to. I wake up every day, I'm unemployed. I have to go find my next job. So it doesn't matter.
Still hungry to this day, Matthew.
Exactly. Because like at the end of the day, like, dude, I like, hey, and I say this and like, dude, fine. I don't care if I catch some shade or some hate. I like nice shit. Like, dude, you can't buy nice shit with hopes and dreams. Like you got to get out there and you got to work for it. You do. Sure. So like, every day, like I wake up and I'm like, all right, what can I do? Dude, I mean, I wake up, I go work out first thing in the morning. I come back, I underwrite deals for the first hour to hour and a half of my day. I submit anywhere between 5 to 15 properties to see kind of what we're looking at. Like, hey, are any of these going to hit for the hedge fund? I'm working on my East Coast business contacts, short sales, things like that. Passing out referrals, taking referrals, like all of those things. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on. And then also being able to help others if they want to dive into that realm. Like, hey, let me, take my hand. Like, let's go ahead. Let's dive in the deep end. Yeah, it might be a little dark down there, but don't worry. Like, I'll turn on the light. Like the light will bounce off my head. Don't worry. So like I said, dude, that's kind of what I'm doing. And I think you're really going to see right now, like you were saying, the prosperity bubble. You're going to see a lot of the professionals versus the posers. You're going to see the professionals come through. The posers, I think we've already started to see a slide of that. You're going to see a continuation where people have been trying, and then it's, okay, you know what? Maybe this isn't quite as easy as I thought it was. And the thing is, I mean, you guys know, like if you develop the skill set though, dude, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
I didn't get to this point by sitting there, not working on my craft every day. I worked on my craft, talking to banks, talking to homeowners, like, hey, dude, I understand this sucks. Like, but just trust me, I'm going to get you through it. And I got a lot of those people through it. And now they're my repeat clients.
Yeah.
So like I said, that's, for me, that's what I'm putting a focus on.
Yeah, I love that, man. Especially, coming from someone who's, obviously done it at every single level there is, right? Starting out and, moving 400 transactions, in a year. Most people are like, again, I said this earlier about that. There's this misconception, like you start getting, a little bit success, and it's like, let's remove ourselves as, let's tag the CEO. And you said something really big that hardly anybody's talking about, right? Which like you were like, I mean, we all went through that prosperity phase, and it's like, this stuff's easy. Like, yeah, let's go, baby, right? Like we were selling everything. but you know, and you even said like, hey, this is not, and I had that. I actually in December I shared this with Ryan. I had that moment of realization too, brother. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you like, this has got to change because the reason why you're where you are now wasn't because of that little moment of everything being so easy. Is because you were putting in the work, you were doing the things that were necessary, and I had to look at that as well too, you know, and you have to do that.
Absolutely. And it's like I said, I'm glad that I took a step back and I looked at it and said, oh, okay. Like, you know, just those slight tweaks in your mindset create all the difference. So like, I'm honestly, I'm excited. Like, I know that this sounds really weird. The last 2 years, I kind of was just on autopilot with, you know, because I mean, you're on autopilot. Like, it is what it is. It's like, okay, wake up, cool. Here's 3 accepted offers, cool. Like, don't get me wrong, extremely blessed, very, very happy with it. But I'm excited for the hustle and the grind. Like, it's no other way to describe it. It's just a sickness, I guess.
You're Kobe Bryant, bro.
Like, I'm okay with it. So like, it's one of those things. Like, I just thoroughly enjoy that because that right there is what creates those extraordinary results. I think my wife said it best the other day. She said, laser focus will create extraordinary results. And when she said that, I was in the middle of doing 10 things, and I shit you not, I put all 10 down. I went upstairs and I went and I took care of some work. And within an hour, I had probably 4 hours of work done. Yeah. And I was like, damn, there goes Nicole dropping Nikki dimes on me again and just being like, here you go. Like, you know, she got my mindset right. So it's
nice.
You know, that's what I'm looking forward to in 2023. Like, I'm excited for it.
Hey, Matthew, I want to ask you this, and this is just because you're a high performer. Like, I wouldn't ask this just to the average person because we all have our mindset. We all have moments we have to push through. So I always like to ask high performers, people at your level, there's got to be at some point, there's got to be moments where you don't, like you said, I wake up, I get ready and going. There's got to be sometimes when you wake up, you're like, even you, do you have those moments, and how does someone at a high performer fight through those moments?
I do. No joke. I literally had this the other day where I was like, what the F am I doing? I don't want to do this shit. And, you know, those thoughts creep in your head. They do. And it doesn't matter how good things are. It doesn't matter how bad things are. Those thoughts are going to be there. And I always try to start my day with a couple things. Number one, I try to snag a kiss from my wife because, you know, got to start the day off right. But number two, I always go for a little bit of a run. I call it a walk run. My wife hates that I call it that. And she's like, what is that, a jog? And I'm like, no, it's a walk run. Heart walk. What do you want from me? So I've noticed when I do that part of
Let me walk, man.
Exactly. So when I do that, it helps regulate me. It gets me in that good spot.
Gets the blood going too.
The other thing is, and I try to give myself a little bit of grace on this because no matter how much I try to be perfect or perform at the ultimate level, I have to realize that it's just, there's going to be some days that just aren't going to be the day. What I've learned inherently, I've talked about this. My wife has talked about this. We've talked about this with our kids. Discipline is what will take you where you want to go when motivation or those feelings are fleeting at that time. So it's the discipline of get on it, make the calls, get on it, submit the properties, get on it, have the conversations with agents, you know, to bring in the deals or, you know, whatever it is, and then go, you know. So for me, that's the big thing when I have those moments, when I have those, it's just, it ain't today. It's the discipline of the routine is what gets me to the finish line that day. And then the next day is a brand new day.
Yeah. Yep. I love that, man. Thank you for sharing that, Matthew. I've been wanting to ask like people like yourself how they deal with that stuff.
Absolutely.
Amazing, man. I appreciate you dropping those dimes. I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's huge. I think it's very important. You know, even it doesn't matter, you know, what level you're at. I think that's a realization you have to come to at some point. And it's funny you talked about autopilot, because we're going through the book Sales Boss again, Ryan and I, because we want to structure our sales KPIs, and how we train sales guys and stuff, things like that. And there's a section in there that talks about how we have that already internally in us, where we do go, we default to autopilot instantly if we don't watch ourselves. And the example he gives is like, think about, I call, the robots, right? I told this to my son one day, which is people that go to work, get out of work, and it's like, and then Friday they're awake, right? Because it's that autopilot mode, right? It's that autopilot that's they're turned on. But it's interesting that you brought that up, and because it is something we have internally that has to be checked. I mean, consistently, or else you're going to fall to it right away.
It does. It just comes down to strong habits will always be lack of motivation, or I guess feeling, if you will. It always happens that way. And it's like I said, like, even if I have an off day, like I've gotten to the point where I'm like, it's okay to have that off day. Like, dude, there's 365 in a year. If you have 10 mulligans, like, dude, you're batting an amazing average. Like you are.
That's amazing,
awesome,
man.
Man. Well said, brother. Well said.
Man, good stuff, Matthew. Brother, I think we'll end it at that. I think that was a really high note to end it on. I really appreciate you, bro, for being on. And man, you're doing some amazing things. And I appreciate you for calling you friend, bro. Honestly, that's more. You known you for a long time, and brother, nothing but love from over here, bro. You already know that.
You know it. I appreciate you. I appreciate Ryan a little bit less because he's not on time. Hey, maybe next time, bro. Be early coming. Next time.
Bro. Yeah. So.
You're my guy, brother. You're my guy, man.
Cool, brother.
I got nothing but love for you guys, and
likewise.
I'm grateful for the fact that we're all connected. I'm grateful for the fact that we can do deals and we can do a podcast on Tuesday at 7 p.m. and it's friggin' awesome, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you guys do this year. I want to do deals with you guys this year.
100%
with everybody. And I always tell people, and Max, this, dude, connect with me by all means. Please connect with me. Anything I can do to help your business, I'm here for that. And I always will be. And there's no, like Max said, I'm not one of those people. It's like, well, I'm the CEO of, bad ball enterprises over here. I don't give a shit about any of that. I don't care. Literally some of our business partners are like, you do know that you could be Insta famous. And I'm like, God, no. Bro, that ain't for me. Dude, I'm not, I don't need that. I'm good.
Man.
Maybe I'll set my wife up on a cooking channel on YouTube.
There you go.
That's awesome. We're cooking up all them Italian dishes for everybody.
I know. That's awesome. Hey, if people wanted to reach out to you, brother, how can they do it? If they want to, reach out and connect with you, what's the best way?
I tell people twofold. Number one, you can hit me on Instagram, where I'm soon to be Insta famous. My handle over there is at Mathew Potter Realtor. The other thing is, and again, this just goes to it, dude, I'm not that guy that tries to hide. Just send me a text. Send me a text. My number is super simple, 480-343-7894. Hit me up, and I will always say this, if you call and I'm on the other line, I'm not going to disconnect that call, but shoot me a text. I'll respond to you. Max knows this. Brian knows this. I see Brittany's here. Brittany knows this. Dude, at the end of the day, text me. I've been on a couple things where literally I've gotten a couple hundred people that text me afterwards. I reply to every single one, and they're like, how the hell do you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just wired. So by all means, reach out, dude. And also follow me on Instagram, and I'll follow you. I'm not too picky about who I follow over there. As long as you're not a robot, I'll follow you.
Yeah, awesome, brother. Reach out to him. I'm telling you, you guys heard it today. Amazing knowledge, amazing experience, great team. Him and Nicole and obviously Marissa. They're doing some incredible things. So anything that you need, follow them on Instagram as well. And brother, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being on and spending the time with us. If you want to hang out backstage, you're more than welcome to. If you want to wait for us, we're going to close the show. Or if you need to jump off, I totally understand that as well. It's up to you, brother, if you want to, hang on really quick.
I'm gonna finish that burger, bro.
All right. Sounds good, brother. All right, Matthew. Thank you for being on the show, brother. I really appreciate you. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate y'all and look forward to connecting with everybody.
Yeah, sounds good.
Looks good seeing you again, brother.
All right, man.
Dang, man.
What's up, Brian? Did you learn something?
Dude, I am just so you hear me say this to you every week. We are blessed, so blessed to have these people on our show, to know these people. They're in our backyard. They're just the greatest people that we keep bringing on. Every person that comes on is just amazing. And people who are not watching this, man, they need to watch it. You need to send this to people. And if you're in the industry, I mean, these are all great people who are doing big things right now that are willing to help and that are open book, man. It's unbelievable. These people, these are awesome people.
For sure. I mean, we're being very selective, right, on who comes on and the value that people provide. And, obviously we get to the meat and potatoes, and if you can't learn a thing or two from someone who's done, just in the last 2 years, close to 700 transactions, like, I don't know what to tell you, right?
Got his hands in everything, man.
Yeah.
Everything.
And not only that, but I mean, 18,000 plus and growing. It's incredible. I've always, when he told me this, and this was like probably a year and a half, I don't remember, a year and a half, 2 years ago, he told me he had done over 18,000 plus over being a transaction. So I'm assuming it's a lot more than that. But crazy, man. But give him a follow, give him a shout out. I can tell you, Matthew is a cool dude. He never, again, he doesn't, carry around that stigma of, well, he can't talk to me, talk to someone on my team. Like, the guy will text you back or he will call you back when he's available.
Talk about getting your hands dirty, rolling up your sleeves. He's the epitome of it. Like, I could not believe, that's why I was really impressed. He still does the mundane
100%.
little things that he's got to do, but I don't mean to downplay it. I'm just saying, like, he does things that most people hire other people to do or bring on their other team to do. And he's
now I remember it was about a year and a half ago when he told me, when I found out about that, and I made an Instagram post and I gave him a shout out and I said, man, it says here, and I took a jab at some of the people that don't want to go to appointments no more, and I'm like, I said the homie Matthew has done over 18,000 transactions and he's still going to appointment. Don't tell me you don't want to do the work. So awesome. But make sure you go back and watch this. There was a lot of nuggets drop. But everyone, thank you for being on the show tonight. If you're watching this on the replay, man, reach out to him so that way you can connect with him. And we'll see you next week on Tuesday. We have another special guest that's going to come on and drop some nuggets, and we're gonna basically talk meat and potatoes. So, Ryan, any last words?
Man, just thanks everyone who joined. Again, share this with somebody you think it could benefit. If anybody looking to get in the real estate industry need help, please reach out to me direct. My handle is @RealRyanOvercash on Instagram. There is a link in my bio you can click on and apply directly. Feel free to reach out to me, send me a DM. Let's talk about it.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Good night. Later.